Time to wake up. It's Saturday morning. Find some milk and cereal. Grab a bowl and spoon. No, a bigger spoon. Head to the living room and take a seat on the floor while Joseph and Chris present to you Saturday Morning Cartoon!
Hello everybody, welcome to Saturday Morning Cartoon Boom! This is a show where we wake with the Saturday morning sun, popped on the floor with a big bowl of sugary cereal, and we'll try your favorite cartoons, both old and new. I'm Joseph.
And I'm Chris.
And this morning we watched Primal!
Which is not called Savage. I'm going to go ahead and just eat that one. Y'all, I screwed up. I screwed that up pretty bad. But it was a very savage show.
Indeed.
So there you go.
Indeed.
See, I was just trying to be hip, man. I was like, people are saying savage a lot. I guess, actually, I think savage is going out of style. I think I got to say slaps now, but maybe I think that's only for music. I don't know.
So you know the comic Savage Dragon? Is he going to turn into like Slap Dragon?
Slap the Slap Dragon. That is absolutely what's going to happen.
So this was suggested by me because it was my birthday pick and I had really wanted to watch through it. Even though we're only doing 3 episodes for today's show, I watched the whole thing and it is so cool.
But yeah, this was hard for me to. So I didn't want to confuse things, so I only did the 3 episodes, but it was really hard for me not to watch more. Oh my goodness. So as soon as we're done with this episode, I'm going to watch the rest.
Yeah, no, it's real short too, or at least what is available so far. So there's the 5-episode first season. Then there's a 6th episode that came out, but it was released by Cartoon Network on April Fool's Day, just as like a little teaser for the 2nd season. And I watched that actually too. And it's, oh my God, it's crazy. I won't go into it though. I won't go into it. So the show Primal started in 2019 and is still going, created by Genndy Tartakovsky, story by Brian Andrews, Derek Bachman, and Genndy Tartakovsky for episodes 3 through 5, and then David Krins for episodes 3 through 6 only. Produced by Cartoon Network Studios and William Street. Ran for 1 season, 6 episodes so far, like I was saying, on Cartoon Network Adult Swim. And man, it's very adult.
Oh, yeah. This is not for kids.
No,
so just,
as a preface.
You're forewarned.
Yeah.
Not a kid's show whatsoever. Not even close.
No. For a short synopsis, Primal features a caveman at the dawn of evolution, a dinosaur on the brink of extinction, bonded by tragedy. This unlikely friendship becomes the only hope of survival in a violent primordial world.
Good Lord, yeah. That's it's a very good explanation for it, for sure. Yeah, there's that.
I guess we should also say, like, on the forefront, that there's no dialogue in this.
Yeah, they do have a voice actor, so I'll go ahead and just give you the one cast member, which is the guy that makes all the grunts for our caveman guy. You'll hear him every once in a while be like, ah! Stuff like that. Apparently the caveman has a name. Apparently it's Spear.
Yep.
So that's cool. That voice work done by Aaron LaPlante, who also voiced the Omen in Samurai Jack. He's a regular with this crew that made this show.
Nice. And I also heard that Tom Kenny, the guy who does SpongeBob, did one of the monkeys or some of the monkeys in that last episode we watched.
Yeah, he did a monkey, and I think he might have done one of those monkey-ish kind of guys in one of the episodes we watched.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but as you said, there's no dialogue whatsoever. It's just grunts and noises.
So, for free tasty marshmallows out of our big bowl of Primal cereal, this marks the 5th show created by Genndy Tartakovsky for Cartoon Network Studios after Dexter's Laboratory, Samurai Jack, developing Star Wars Clone Wars, and co-creating Symbionic Titan. So, this is his 5th show for Cartoon Network.
Nice.
Tartakovsky conceived the idea of this series while developing the last season of Samurai Jack in 2017. Originally, it was going to be a more kids-oriented show, with Spear written as a kid. When Pixar released The Good Dinosaur in 2015, Tartakovsky shelved the project until finishing Samurai Jack.
Nice. Well, I'm glad that happened though, because like, I'm sure it could be cool. So like, it could still be a fun show, but I don't think it would be I want to say a masterpiece. Honestly, I don't think it would be nearly as fantastic as it is right now. the way that it unfolded if it would have been like a child and made for kids.
Yeah, I was coming into this episode trying to think of a way to word how I wanted to describe this show or the quality of this show in general. And to me, I was thinking of it like a masterclass study of animation for sure.
Absolutely. I was thinking about that too as I was watching the last episode. I was just like, dude, this is like a masterclass in animation and animation directing specifically. It's insane.
Like I know we're coming at it with praise from the beginning, but it's so good it really sticks with you. So I feel like
Yeah,
this is going to
for
be
sure.
a whole show of just gushing towards it.
Yeah, I did rate it a 1, but no, it's just
I mean, I hated it, but
yeah, I mean it sucks, but
no. So Tartakovsky said that he no longer cared about the rules of history after he had the idea of having a caveman riding a dinosaur. And obviously, in real life, dinosaurs and men never coexisted. So you have to kind of throw
What?
all that out the window and look
No.
at this as kind of an alternate universe, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm glad that he was able to just pitch that away and be like, well, here's what we're doing anyway.
Yeah, it's like who cares? Man, it's a cartoon. Who cares
Right.
that it isn't historically accurate? I mean, how many are,
Yeah.
you know?
Right. So the first Cartoon Network Studios series, this is the first Cartoon Network Studios series to be rated TV 14 or TVMA.
Dang, okay.
Yeah, it shows. But it's like tastefully violent, I guess. Sometimes, but sometimes it goes way over the top and I still
I was
appreciate
going to say, you know, thinking about the last episode we watched, I'm like,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah, the last
about
episode
that.
is what made me retract that statement a little bit or step back and say, okay, yes,
That's just a gore fest.
they're having fun
for sure.
with it, but still,
fun.
it's so well done.
Yeah.
So had you ever heard of this show before I suggested it?
Well, kind of, sort of, but only because you sent me a trailer for it like a long time ago. And I just was just like, oh, yeah, that's so awesome. And then I kind of forgot about it. So, yes and no.
You know that thing, maybe you do this too, but I specifically, like on my Chrome browser on my phone, I keep like 50 tabs open and of like things that I'm like, all right, I'm going to look at this later. I'm going to look at this later. I need to keep this tab open or so I don't forget it. And Primal was on like tab number 3 or something. And so I was flipping through tabs a few weeks ago and I'm like, oh yeah, Primal. And so I was like, I wonder if that came out yet because this had to have been a year or two ago that I had that tab open. Found out where it was playing, happened to be on HBO Max, which I had just recently subscribed to. And so I was like, okay, let me check it out. And this is what prompted me to bring it up because I was like, oh, dude, we have to watch this.
I'm really glad you did too. You know, I think I had it bookmarked somewhere because instead of keeping the tabs open, because that just like bugs me for whatever reason, I just bookmark everything. So I have billions and billions of bookmarks in Chrome.
I mean, that's probably the smarter way to do it. But for me, if it's a bookmark, I won't go back to the bookmarks. But I'm forced to look through the tabs periodically because I'm like, okay, I have like 80 open. I need to close down some.
Yeah.
And that's what kind of makes me cycle back through them.
Which ones can I afford to close?
So let's go and jump into the episodes to watch for today's show. The very first episode, highest rated episode, and finally, random listener chosen episode. Order may vary depending on how these episodes fall chronologically, but of course, I have to start with the very first episode, which was Spear and Fang, Season 1, Episode 1, where tragedy forces a caveman and a dinosaur to rely upon each other for their survival.
Man, this episode hurt. This this introduction, like, I don't think I was prepared for the emotional weight that this show was going to carry. Like, I was expecting this to be a very Metalocalypse, you know, heavy metal kind of thing. It's just going to be straight up brutal and it's going to look cool. I was not prepared for the emotions that it made me feel. I didn't see it coming.
Yeah, they do a really great job of that. It's got a lot of slow moments too. For as action-packed as it is, there's a lot of periods where you're just sitting there kind of reflecting or kind of living in the pain that the characters are.
A lot of the, like, to be honest, the show itself, the best way I can describe watching it is it feels like being on a roller coaster, just with longer periods of, you know, kind of coasting along the top and not hitting those huge drops. Like, you'll coast for the longest time and you'll feel good about it and you'll feel like the breeze and you're just kind of like, this is nice. And then you just plunge down and you're just going full speed ahead like crazy until you get to another peak and you get to coast a little bit and have a breather. The flow of the show is a lot like that, it seems.
Yeah, that's a good point.
One thing I wanted to point out really quick is like they do an amazing job of making this world and the creatures in it really feel frightening. You see some of the dinosaurs, things like that, and it's not like I was kind of expecting like right off the bat that like, oh, this dinosaur comes up, he's just gonna immediately gonna kill this one. But no, like he's got to hide from it and stuff, and these things are really scary, and like not just the design, but the way they animate and the way they act, the noises they make. They really did a good job of making it feel very intimidating.
Yeah, you kind of see their brains working in a way as far as hunting goes. Like when they're stalking their prey, you can feel that.
Yeah.
It starts off with Spear kind of going fishing, essentially, well, with his spear going fishing. And we see this giant alligator jump out and try to attack him. And I guess it just kind of shows you the stakes of this world. Like you can't even do like a basic thing like that without fear of being eaten alive.
Exactly. Where it really, and it's interesting because at first you're really just doing that whole cruising along thing. Even when that alligator jumps out, like it's kind of like, oh, and he hides and then he comes back out and gets his fish. And it's kind of like another still coasting along a little bit. Like you took a little dip and now you're just, okay, all right. He's just walking through these fields and stuff. And that's when you see like that like zoom in when he sees that dinosaur footprint, and then you hear the screams and it's just like, oh man. And that's when stuff just goes so wrong.
Yeah.
Like this was, I mean, I kind of figured like I could predict what was going to happen. I'm like, okay, this is like a village or maybe his family or something's going to get killed. So it's like even seeing that coming, it was horrific. I think that the worst part for me was the one, I guess these were like small T-Rexes or something, like adolescent T-Rexes, I guess. I mean, his whole family gets slaughtered, but the worst part was the last child, and it like whips it up in the air and bites it. And like, it's one of those things where it's like you could, I just assumed, chomp and it's gone. It was like the crunch and then just the blood just pouring out of that dinosaur's mouth. And I was just like, oh my God, like it made it so much worse than it had to be. I was just like, ah.
Yeah, that was all done in silhouette too. At least the attacks were.
Yes.
But still very effective. And he's had to watch this. And he goes in like in a rage, obviously, because he just saw his family get eaten. At this time, like we don't know for comparison, say like how big these T-Rexes are.
Right.
And so they're larger than him. And so we're just like, okay, it's a pack of T-Rexes. We hear like a louder roar and they kind of wonder, or they kind of run off. And then we see them go up to their mother, I guess, who is like gigantic. And it's like, oh, wow. So, yeah, he can't just take them all on his own. And the stakes just keep getting higher and higher for him.
Yeah. One thing that I really like about this show is that, like you said, the stakes keep getting higher and higher. It kept surprising me. Every time I thought I understood a facet of the world, it pulled the rug out from under me. Like, and that was a good example. And I feel like multiple occasions of something like that happen in every episode. So it's just like, okay, these are these three dinosaurs. Maybe he's got a chance. Like I kind of get it. And then you see the big one and you're like, oh man, those were just babies? Oh God. Like, no, this is horrible. There's no way.
Exactly. Yeah. I was thinking, like, okay, he's going to kill at least one of them or something, or maybe one of them's going to get away and he's going to hunt that one down for the rest of the episode. And I was like, oh wait, no, this was small scale. Stakes were really low right there. And his family still got eaten just by those young T-Rexes. That's even more frightening.
Ugh.
And that's kind of when we get some moments with him where he goes back to the cave and he sees like his, essentially a cave painting done in like charcoal or something on the wall of him and his family. And he stares at that. Here's another one of those, the coasting moments. He stares at that and we get to feel kind of what he's feeling and then just kind of wipes it away. And then we see him go to the edge of a cliff and consider suicide at this point, which would be understandable had you just faced that.
I gotta say, like, one of the other amazing parts about this is the musical score, and not just the music itself, but also the timing, which is why I say, like, that this is kind of a masterclass in directing just everything put all together is intensely well thought out. Like the musical cue that just all of a sudden pops out of nowhere when he brushes his hand across that charcoal painting of his family, and like the look on his face changes for just a split second as this very specific note hits, and it's just like, oh man.
Actually, that's a really good point. Like they do a lot with the score, with the music itself. Where there's a lack of dialogue, it's made up for with, the animation, the visual cues, and then the musical scores to help accompany that.
And I really like, again, I felt one of those rug pulled out from under me moments when he ends up finding another dinosaur, which looks like, I don't know what it's supposed to be, if it's also supposed to be a T-Rex, but it is different looking than the others. It's a different color. The other ones were like kind of reddish. This one's more greenish. And it's got two little babies, and these are small dinos. Like these are dinos that are like, maybe next to him, like up to his like hip. So these are small little T-Rexes, and I think they're either a T-Rex or Allosaurus or something. I don't know. And seeing that, well, he first just sees that green T-Rex, then he sees the little ones, and I'm like, oh, he's just gonna think of his family, and you kind of feel that. But then his face goes sour again. You're like, oh God, he's going to kill all of them. But then that's when the red ones come back again. And it just kept adding layers and layers. I'm like, oh my God, I don't know what's going to happen.
That's when the other T-Rexes, the red ones that did eat his family, attack and start to go after the blue T-Rex.
Is it blue or green? I kept thinking it was green.
It's like bluish green. Yeah.
Bluish green. Okay, there we go. Teal Rex. We'll call it Teal Rex.
But I mean, her name is Fang officially, so
okay, so let's call her Fang then, because that helps. I didn't realize that she had a name, so that
that's why the first episode is called Spear and Fang.
I thought it was just referring to the tools of the trade. He's got a spear, she's got teeth.
Well, I mean, that's true.
But he is credited in IMDb as Spear, so I guess it makes sense.
Yeah. So they have to start fighting these. Spear doesn't have to, but he starts to fight these red T-Rexes anyway, just, I guess, to quench his thirst for revenge in part also, but also to protect the young Fangs, the young blue T-Rexes. They're fighting together. It gets pretty violent here. Fang bites off one of the other T-Rex's snouts, rips the whole thing off.
Yeah.
Which is really awesome.
That was sick.
Spear breaks off one of their teeth and starts stabbing them with it repeatedly.
That was That was such a good moment. And God, it kept messing with me. This whole thing was just messing with me. They were just like, let's set out to screw with Chris's brain and his emotions. Because, they defeat him, and those little dinos, they come up and snuggle with him after. Because he finally kills them. He falls to the ground, he collapses in kind of relief and sorrow at the same time, because he's avenged his family. And the little T-Rex babies come and snuggle with him. And I was like, oh my God, this is great. And he's just petting them and stuff. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. We get a good ending. No, we don't get a good ending, because then big red mama T-Rex shows up and eats the babies. I was so mad.
Another dip in that roller coaster.
Dude, I gotta tell you, I have never cursed out loud so much watching a cartoon. And not in a bad way. It's just I was shocked and surprised so many times, and also awed by certain things that it just got this very vocal reaction from me in a way that I don't think I've ever reacted to another animation like that.
Even those happy moments are kind of marred by the reality of things in this primal world.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So they have to fight. They have to start fighting. This is the mother T-Rex, the big red one that we saw earlier, that was way larger than Spear could handle. After the fighting starts, Spear comes to try to rescue Fang, and they're both attacking. That's when we get to see the first scene of Spear riding on Fang's back, which is an awesome scene.
That was so good.
Puts Dino Riders to shame.
Yeah. There was one part that made me cringe a little bit, just when Spear like Big Red Dino lady tries to eat him, and she kind of does, but he basically does the hop into the mouth thing, and the teeth don't get him, and he shoves his spear up into the roof of her mouth, and I'm just like, oh, it's like a tortilla chip. Oh, ouch, because those hurt, dude. It hurts so bad when you get like that glass tortilla chip for some reason. It just rips right into the roof of your mouth.
She tries to actually get it out like a tortilla chip too. Like,
I know.
Trying to push it out with her tongue, just like work him out of there.
Yeah, that sucks, man. I had that happen a few days ago. I bled all over the place.
Oh.
And then you get the hot sauce in there afterwards. Oh, it's the worst.
After a harrowing battle, they like Spear finally is able to jump up on top of the red T-Rex's head and stabs it through the brain. And it's so it's so visceral here because it's like you start to see the red T-Rex's eyes fill up with blood, and then it just collapses. In this like moment, even though it was a victory, it's like, yeah, but at what cost? And so Fang goes and lays down by her nest, very sad.
Oh, dude, that was wrecking me. Like I was not having a good time. I did not. Oh, that hurt.
And Spear just kind of, he walks off like he's done. He thinks his work here is done. He's avenged his family, essentially, at least as much as he's able to. And then as he's walking along, we start to hear Fang come up behind him, and he thinks she's about to attack him also. So he kind of rears up his spear, and then she kind of goes down into a submissive stance and is basically like, not really saying my life is yours now, but almost like, I don't have anyone else.
Yeah, to me, it felt very much like a desperation kind of moment of like, I need you sort of thing. Yeah, it's like they did recognize that in each other. I mean, obviously he's hurting, and then Fang is hurting just as much because they lost these same things. So yeah, that moment when Fang comes up, and they did such a good job with the audio here too, because it's not just the music, but like, so I don't know everything that they use to make the dinosaurs noises. Like there's a few times I can tell there's some bear noises and there's some lion noises and things in there. But the noise that came out of her in this was such a very like, it still sounds like the noise a big old T-Rex would make, but it actually sounded sad. And I'm like, man, I don't know how they did that, but they got me feeling so bad for this T-Rex that would probably eat me, but it is what it is.
Yeah, it's that shared tragedy in this episode that really brought them together, and in the worst way possible.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I had read somewhere that Gindi had, in thinking about creating the show, like he didn't want to make it to the point where it was like, yeah, great, this is a primal world, but why are a dinosaur and a human like teaming up together? Like, in a primal sense, that doesn't make sense. So he's like, okay, well, I need to do like a character study on this. Like they need to bond over something. And that's where this like tragedy, this bond over this intense tragedy came up. And it really worked.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it would have worked as well if they just became partners just out of the blue. It's like, hey, we're friends now. But this really made it stick. Like it made sense.
Yeah. I almost kind of expected it to be a show more along the lines of, do you remember a long time ago, there's this pilot, and we've talked about doing pilots for one shot little episodes before, and I want to do this one. It's something like Koroth or Korgoth.
Oh, was it like a barbarian?
Some sort of barbarian
thing?
dude?
Yeah.
I expected this show at first glance to be like that, where it's just like the story just kind of starts. You don't really know anything about this character. He's just there and he's just brutal. Like I expected that to be this. The show just begins and you've got this guy that rides around on a dinosaur and they just slaughter stuff, and it's just each episode is just this weird different thing. But they put so much development, like character development, into this without them ever even saying anything.
Yeah, I did not expect emotion from this show, to touch on an earlier point you made.
No, me either.
But can I tell you something? When you said, do you remember the show? The first show that came to my mind, I don't know why I thought you were going to say this, was Denver the Last Dinosaur. Do you remember
how brutal Denver the Last Dinosaur was with that guitar? Just crushing teenager skulls with that guitar.
I was just thinking of the companionship between a dinosaur and a human. It's like, yep, Denver the Last Dinosaur. It's the first thing that popped in my head.
Man, I miss that show. I used to know
I
that
still
whole
remember the
theme
theme
song,
song.
man.
Yes.
Yes.
Wow.
Denver, the last dinosaur.
I don't know the words from there, but that's the tune of it though.
Oh man, that's what when I was a kid that got me into guitars.
Wow.
I thought those were awesome. And then eventually my parents bought me this little kid version of a guitar.
And you realized how wrong you were.
No, I wish I still had one, man.
Oh.
They're so cool.
So the second episode we watched for today's show was Terror Under the Blood Moon, season 1, episode 4. This was my pick because it was like a full-on horror story. It was so cool.
Man. Yeah.
The horrors of the Red Night challenge Spear and Fang for their very survival.
The blood moon rises. Be careful, caveman guy. The opening scene is fantastic. They're running from that huge horde of velociraptors. And dang, that is just a great chase scene.
Dude, what's so cool about
man.
that? Like, these velociraptors are small, relatively. In comparison to both Spear and Fang, they're very small. But there are so many of them that it's power in numbers. There's a lot of things that I've never really felt that in seeing it in action until now. Like, it feels like, oh my God, like if one of them gets a hold of them and takes them down, the other's just going to swarm. And that's such a frightening thought.
And it almost happened like a couple times. It was very intense. Like you really did feel some tension and you're a little nervous the whole time. Like watching, you're just like, oh, that one almost got him out. Especially when they end up getting flanked. Like they run through that field of the tall grass trying to escape. And then they come out the other side and some of the raptors had already gone around the other side and were waiting. So they got completely flanked and circled. And I'm just thinking, man, there's no way out of this. Like, so I'm interested to see what happens. But man, it was just they just got lucky, basically. Like they would have died.
Yeah. But it just so happens the sun sets and the blood moon starts to rise. And that scares the raptors off because they know what's coming.
Yeah, they heard Zelda's voice talking about that blood moon. And they're like, oh man, all the things we've killed are going to come back and they're going to be stronger. We got to get out of here.
Basically.
And I loved the, I gotta say the backgrounds and everything in the show are so good. I want the backgrounds of this show to be my screensaver for everything I do of all time, every computer.
From now on.
There's these big, just sick, just giant monoliths.
Oh,
like carved
yes.
like with skulls carved into them and all kinds of stuff. Oh, the visuals of this are just so well done, so intense. I think one of my favorite moments in this one, and it's a very subtle one, is when this happens and you see that it's kind of like this open field, almost like these Badlands in a way, like just dark, grassless, almost featureless expanse aside from these rock outcroppings and the monoliths and things. And you see this old monkey boy running with a pig and he breaks his leg horribly when he's running. And that bat starts swooping in and like just watching Spear, he's just watching really cautiously from the shadows and like just the narrowing of his eyes so slowly as things start happening was just like, oh man, it was just like I had like chills.
Yeah, that monkey boy, as you put it, he falls over with his warthog that he had captured that he had killed for his group. Like he's knocked down and we hear the screeching start and then we see another one of the monkey boys like come out and run towards them to kind of save him. And that's when we get the first appearance of these bats, not even in full yet. We just see the one running at him get swept up.
Ah, man, these giant red bat boys.
Yeah, Spear comes out and like grabs the other monkey and the warthog and carries it towards the rock he saw the one monkey come from to try to save him. And that's when like the bat comes down because the monkeys have all like fleed and hidden in their rocks because they know like things aren't great right now. So we see the red bat make his appearance and Spear kills it pretty easily. And then we just see like a ton more just start coming and they're fighting them off like Spear and Fang are at first, but then they just kind of overwhelm them with numbers again, just like the raptors.
Oh, I want to establish too, when we say monkey boys, like they're not straight up monkeys. These are like, they're still kind of like Neanderthals, but not like Spear is, where they're more humanoid. They're more monkey than people, but they are, humanoids.
Right.
They're kind of like missing link people, basically. And God, that one that hurt himself, he like fell like the first kill in a horror film, like in a slasher, like the girl that runs and falls and her ankle just breaks. That's basically what happened here. He just fell and his leg went the complete opposite direction.
Yeah, that thing
I was
snapped
like, good
in two.
Lord. Ugh, so gross. But at least he got to live. As far as we know, he may have died from his wounds later. We don't know.
Eventually, Spear, like they're fighting these bats off for a while, but Spear, well, actually, Fang is captured first, and then Spear goes to save her, but then he's picked up instead and knocked out like as the bat flies over a boulder or something.
Yeah.
And so it takes him up to this like cave, like in the side of a mountain. It's interesting because watching Fang try to get up there to rescue Spear is funny kind of, but it's like,
yeah, it's such poor little baby arms.
Yeah, it's like such an intense moment that it's like you almost need that levity for a second, because it's just her trying to get up this mountain as much as she can, and she tries over and over and over again to no avail. And then she just comes up with
that
plan.
Last time made me laugh though, because so much of it was her like trying to leap up it, then she'll fall, and she just kept doing it, and you're like, man, you gotta really admire it, and it still feels a little tense. But then the last one where she gets up so far and sinks her claws in, and then does the like a slow like down the side. I started cracking
like you
up.
Feel like she had it that time, because like she got up there, she had hooked in, and then that slow screeching fall.
Well, especially because that was like the first bit of like comedy I had seen in the show yet. So it caught me so off guard that this little gag happened. And it's one of the very few like funny moments that happen in the show, I'm assuming. I know there's a few in the next episode, but like right there, it was just like, whoa, that's awesome.
Yeah. So she eventually gets the idea that, hey, like, this isn't working. How can I get up there? And so she feigns death, falls to the ground and closes her eyes.
With her tongue hanging out.
Yeah. And the bats come down and swoop her up to take her up to the cave. When she gets up there, she immediately goes on the hunt for Spear. And we see then, like, this is our first indication that, it's not just these bats, because we see these web cocoons like plastered all over the wall. And you're like, man, there's got to be a big spider in here. And
I was not expecting how big.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Like that spider dwarfed this T-Rex.
Like this thing is so large and frightening. I guess even the bats have like a certain fear, or not quite respect for it, but almost like this is the dominant force and we need to serve it, because they're essentially just bringing food up to this spider.
Yeah, it kind of gave me that sense of like this spider is almost like a god to them,
right?
In a way,
yeah.
At least that's just the feel I got from it. So yeah, they're basically servants of this gigantic spider, this colossus of 8 legs.
Yeah. From here, it's pretty much just them fighting this spider as best they can. Fang really starts to get like taken apart by it. Like she gets beaten up pretty badly at first. That's when Spear is finally like I guess she hears Spear or smells. I don't know how she realizes where he is.
I think she smelled him,
but she rips the webbing off and frees him, and he's able to struggle and get out of the rest of it and come to save her. He sees this Triceratops skull up there.
Oh, dude, this was so awesome.
Yeah.
I loved this.
Or no, not even just a skull. It's like
it's just a full dead Triceratops. It's still intact.
Yeah. And so he gets the idea to break its skull off and use it as a weapon. And it was so awesome. And it was kind of a short-ish battle, because like once he gets that Triceratops horn, like he runs up there, charges at the spider, and just rams it to the side of its head. And that was such an awesome like way to end that battle. But yeah, their fight's not quite over.
Yeah, that was another one of those times I'm like, okay, yeah, got it. And we move on. But I'm like, nope, all the Bat Boys coming now. Oh, God. You just see, like, they almost black out the sky. There's so many of them heading their direction.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, God. But I love the way that they got out of this. It was very clever and very, like, cool to see visually. And also, it was really funny too. Poor Fang.
Well, where Spear like gets the webbing from the spider's mouth, then it's so thick of a silk that he gets the idea that they're going to climb down with that. Fang doesn't understand, obviously, so he just we see him like toss this around to Fang, like and wrap it around her a bit. She doesn't really know what's going on, and then he walks off and charges at her and pushes her off the side of the hill or side of the cave. Luckily, the web is able to catch her fall, they're sliding down the side of the mountain and both kind of have to put their feet into it to slow their descent down enough to where when the webbing ends, they just don't have that much further to fall.
Yeah, and visually, it was just really awesome to watch. And I love the shoulder check to knock her off the ledge. That was really funny. And I got to say, this had the most, I think, satisfying end I could have thought of.
Yes, the payoff was great. It's like, so they've escaped the spider, they've gotten down this mountain, but the trouble's still not over because now all the giant bats are there to defend or to avenge their fallen god, and they all start chasing them. There's no way they're going to be able to take them all, so they're running off, and Spear kind of gets the idea and indicates to Fang like where she needs to go just by like pointing at the tall grass. And if we remember from earlier, that's where all the raptors are in hiding. So as they run through this, like they're keeping low and the bats come in with them. And we see kind of as they escape the other side, the raptors are starting to fight the bats and take them out. And that was a really cool way to like basically kill two birds with one stone.
Yeah, those two were just destroying each other and it felt so good. So good.
Amazing episode. I'm glad I chose it.
Yes, very good one.
And because I had already seen it, but I really wanted you to see it because I was like, okay, this was probably one of my favorite ones. My next favorite one would have been the one we're about to talk about, which was the highest rated, Rage of the Ape-Men, Season 1, Episode 5. An oasis of peace only leads to a brutal attack from a vicious tribe of ape-like men.
Man.
Oh, man. Like, just when I thought this show couldn't get any crazier or any more violent, this episode comes along. You can't see,
but I was shaking my head right now. I was like, oh, man. This episode, oh, my gosh. Woo! You got, like, the two extremes here. You got the most peaceful and nice and relaxing part of this show that we have seen, and you also got the most extreme and violent all in the same episode.
Yeah, the juxtaposition of these two works so well together. It's like, yeah, the first, like, I don't know, 5 to 7 minutes of it.
Yeah.
Very peaceful. Like they finally Spear and Fang find an oasis, just like a little hidden outlet of water where it's so peaceful and undisturbed. Even the fish aren't even trying to escape as Spear's in the water. Like he's about to try to like spear one of them or whatever. But then he sees they're just slowly swimming by, so he can literally just grab them out of the water with his hands.
I like that he just keeps grabbing them, and then he's like biting into them like they're apples, just chomping down. That was funny.
Yeah.
And I love Fang sees a butterfly for the first time and follows it, and then all the butterflies start like chasing Fang around. That was great.
Oh, yeah. She's like screeching and then biting at the air.
That was so good.
This wasn't an earlier episode, but there's a point where she sees something wriggle out of the ground, and it's an earthworm, but she remembers
about that.
She remembers back to an earlier event where they're attacked by these snakes, and because that's her only indication of this wriggling thing. So she thinks it's a snake and runs off. And then Spears, it's funny, Spears just trying to communicate with like, no, it's not a big deal. And he just grabs it and eats it. And she's still like, no, I'm not going to go back over there.
That was great. Like it was almost like watching somebody jump on a chair because of a little mouse running around. She literally runs over onto this like giant fallen, like, I don't remember if it was a giant tree or if it was just this big rock outcropping, but like hops up there like, nope, I'm not getting anywhere near that sand if there's worms in there. No thanks.
Yeah.
And there's this beautiful moment that I really like too of that I feel like really solidified this bond between Fang and Spear, which is that at one point Spear's like hand had left like a print in the sand, and you see Fang look at it like almost like study it, like tilting her head. and stuff. And then she does the same thing with one of her, like, clawed hands and stuff right next to it. And they both just kind of look at each other in that nice moment. And I'm like, oh man, like just that doesn't sound like much, but like watching it, like it says so many things. It's amazing.
Yeah, you get the feels so much in this show, and that's one of those a very tender moment between them in this very peaceful period. So you know something bad's about to happen because never is this show happy for too long. It's always marred by something. And in this case, after Spear starts to swim off on his own and just kind of explore these beautiful underwater scenes, it's like, wow, maybe we're just going to get an episode of this, like a nice, peaceful episode. But I don't know if he wants to just like go swim up to her and just like see what's going on or what. But he goes, and like as he's about to like reach where she's laying on the rock, he sees these silhouettes or these shadows of figures walking over to her. And so when he finally comes up out of the water, he sees nothing. So he's just wondering like where she's gone. And as he's looking around, he sees like a trail of footprints leading into the forest. And he, of course, goes after her or starts to go towards them. And then we just see him get knocked out like immediately right when he enters the forest.
Man, I knew this was going to be bad because I'm like, dang, like what is strong enough to, leave humanoid looking footprints, but also like subdue and carry away a T-Rex. Like, oh my God, like what the heck?
Yeah.
And then they wake up and they are in ropes suspended over this big like fighting pit with all of these like monkeys kind of watching. And then there's this one taller one that looks like some kind of shaman and is performing some sort of ritual. And you see all these big ape dudes in the circle in the middle of it. And they start fighting to the death. And then the one that wins, that shaman has it drink something, like just this little drop of something. And it turns into this like big green ape king boy, like this monster of an ape. It's big enough that it picks up a triceratops skull and wears it as a mask. So that tells you how huge this thing got. And then, of course, because we can't have nice things, they lower Fang into the pit to fight him.
Whatever it is, it's just this black substance.
It's like Hulk's blood or something. Like
basically, because he hulks out like crazy. And then, Fang gets lowered onto the field. Spear's just stuck up there watching because he's still wrapped in the vines. And Fang, we've seen her fight before, and we know she can contend, but she doesn't stand a chance here. She's able to get like one bite in, but it does nothing. She just like rips some fur off and is just really like manhandled the whole time.
Yeah, she basically she got slapped once and it knocked her all the way down, blood coming out of her mouth.
Yeah.
Like just, it KO'd her with just one hit.
And how about like when she tries to roar at him, like blood comes out of her mouth because she's internally bleeding at that point.
That sucked. Like I had like this pit in my stomach when that happened too. Oh man. Spear escapes from the ropes. He goes after Monkey Shaman, smacks him off the side of the cliff.
It's very satisfying. Yeah.
Drinks the entire bowl of Hulk juice. Oh my God. He puts Bruce Banner to shame.
Man,
my God.
He turns into some like giant purplish beast Hulk. And we keep saying Hulk because that's the easy comparison, but it's such a frightening sight. And this is when, like, if things had been crazy before, this is when things are just completely off the wall violent. He is bent on revenge. He's trying to save Fang. And so he goes down there. I think the ape who's hulked out gets like one hit in, and then he rips its arms off and beats him to death with them.
Oh my God, yeah. It was insane.
Yeah. And then all the other monkeys come out to try to attack, power in numbers. He just like literally punching them in half in some cases. I know one of their faces gets punched off, and I don't mean like the head falls off, like the skin, we see it leave the skull. It's like so much like guts and just blood everywhere.
That was honestly the most brutal thing I have ever seen in my life. That includes any movie you've made me watch.
Yeah.
So like it says something.
It's like cartoon violence on another level, and it's so satisfying to see Spear, come out and actually save Fang and really take
Just
out the
dominate.
entire group of monkeys. And then we see him
Yeah.
finally, I guess it kind of fades to black, and then it comes to, we just see piles of bodies.
He wakes up underneath all this gore. And I did like too that though like he did this on purpose to save his friend and stuff, like you can see the look of kind of like remorse and shame on his face when he looks around and he sees all like everything he did. Like just the amount of leftovers of all these dead monkeys and stuff, and he brushes some of the blood off of his face, and you can tell like he is not happy about how he did it. I don't know. It's hard to describe. It's one of those things that again you got to see it to really believe that they were able to express those kind of like thoughts and emotions and stuff like that without a single lick of dialogue or anything.
Yeah.
But man, we probably shouldn't spoil the end.
No, don't spoil it.
I just gotta say that I wasn't 100% sure, and also if I think what happened, I'm not okay. I was not okay. I started yelling at the screen.
Yeah, they have a really good way of fading out at just the right moment where you're like, oh my God, I have to sit with this now.
Yeah.
And so essentially that's the end of season 1. I think this is slated for 10 total episodes. So we've watched halfway through it and it was a ride.
Oh my gosh, yeah. It was intense, for sure.
Well, Chris, it feels like it's about time we send our inner kids back to prehistoric times where they can frolic with dinosaurs and try their best not to get eaten. Then see what they thought of the show, Primal.
This cartoon is sick. I love all the dinosaurs and the blood and big caveman that can just beat anything and slapping monkeys in half. And oh my God, this is so amazing. I gave this cartoon 5 bowls of Blood Red Bat Boy cereal out of 5.
I know this is historically inaccurate because cavemen and dinosaurs never truly interacted, but who cares? This is one of the coolest, most brutal cartoons I've ever seen. The animation was stellar, the musical score top-notch, and cutting out dialogue forced their creators to do all their storytelling visually, which they did remarkably well. I've always loved dinosaurs and didn't think they could get any cooler. Then this show came along and proved me wrong. It's like Land Before Time turned up to 11. Overall, I'd give Primal 5 big bowls of Monkey Punch Icar out of 5, and definitely think you should check it out. But you should probably not show the kids.
Yeah, I don't know how my inner kid got away with it.
Yeah, well, I feel like I watched a lot of things I probably shouldn't have as a kid, so it's part of the course.
It's true. No parental controls back then, guys. We had it easy. But seriously, this show is just, it is a testament to how amazing animation and good directing can be. Like we keep saying there's no dialogue at all, but it is more captivating than almost anything I think I have ever watched. I was literally slack-jawed several times. Like I said, I was yelling profanities in surprise and shock several times every episode because I was just so like entrenched in this thing. The animation is just gorgeous. The music's fantastic, but again, where it shines is just the directing. There's so many well-planned scenes and shots. It blew my mind almost every segment of every episode that we were watching. So like, you know, not for kids, but anyone else, like you have to watch it. You have to.
Yeah, this is Gindi at his best. I know he's an amazing artist, director, creator in general, and I loved everything else he's done too, but this is my favorite so far. I agree that I'm sure it still would have been good had it just been like a more kids-friendly show, but I don't know if it would have had as much punch to it, both figuratively and literally. And so this just really like hits the mark. It's so good. Animation's amazing. Like it just keeps getting better and better plot-wise. This show is great at keeping you on the edge of your seat. Even when you think you know what's going to happen, you probably don't.
Yeah, you know, I I was thinking of that exact phrase, edge of my seat, and just how, I mean, overused and cheesy it sounds to say that, but this is probably the most edge of my seat I've ever been on anything that I've ever watched. I mean, I'm including live action, animation, anime, everything. This was definitely like a masterpiece, you know? And this is what I want to say too. Like, this is something that I would say not only people interested in it or people that like his work or people that just like good stories, but like anyone that is studying, you know, animation, cinema, anything like that, like you have to watch this, because I bet anything you could pick this apart and find so many just things to be amazed at and to be impressed with in this show.
Yeah, don't go into it thinking like we did that it was just going to be Spear and Fang going along just hunting and killing things. Like, it's not just that. There is that, yes, but it's almost like a small part in a much larger story that they unfold.
Yeah, it's an epic.
Yes.
In every sense of the word, it feels like an epic. It is a huge unfolding, unraveling story with the tiniest of cast. It's insane to me that this works so well.
Masterclass, like we said.
Masterclass.
I wish I hadn't watched it by myself, because it's like there were so many times I was just like yelling out, and you know, I looked to my side like, oh, did you see that? But then nobody's there. It's like, oh, okay, you didn't see that.
I do like knowing that you knew no one was with you, but you still turned and was like, oh, did you see that?
It's like somebody had to see this. No, just me.
Are there any
All
ghosts in here? Hey, NSA agent watching me at all times. Did you see that? Oh my God.
Amazon, I know you're listening to me. Like, you suggesting to me all the time. Facebook, same thing.
Alexa chimes in as like, this cartoon slaps.
It does. It does.
So thank you, Joseph. Thank you for picking this.
Yes, for being born and for choosing this. Well, listeners, looks like our most supplies now are dry, so it's time for us to say goodbye. And in 2 weeks, we'll be watching
Ever After High, submitted via YouTube by Artsy Opal.
Okay, so
that's kind of the reaction I thought I was going to get out of you. Like that long pause and then, okay.
Well, we've watched 2 good shows in a row, so I guess we're due for a bad one.
I don't know though. Like this, here's the thing about Ever After High. So the only thing I know is this is a very like, I think it's based on a Mattel doll line, you know, like Monster High and Bratz and things like that. But I mean, this was voted to the very top of the list. And honestly, I've seen a lot of people say very good things about it. So I want to be like, oh, dear God, why? But part of me is just like, huh.
You know?
Okay,
I'm going to come into this with, I won't have high hopes, but my hopes will be at least...
just have hopes.
I'll just have hopes. They don't have to be high. I won't be dreading it.
Yeah, they just have to exist. They don't have to be very high at all.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I'm looking at some of the photos. I'm reading some descriptions. I don't get it right now, right off the top of my head, but like, maybe. We'll see.
Once again, I'm Joseph.
And I'm Chris.
And we'll see you next Saturday.
Presented by Nerdsloth,
a place for lazy nerds.
If you like what you heard, consider donating at patreon.com/nerdsloth so we can continue bringing you quality shows. Be sure to also leave us a review and share your favorite episodes and clips on social media. If you're looking for more content, visit us at nerdsloth.com.